Hello everyone, I'm Anya and thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This year I've been researching ballet and contemporary dance and the differences within these two styles. My thesis question is, what are the similarities and differences between the physical and physiological effects of ballet and contemporary dance, and what factors can explain these differences? I have been dancing since I was about this tall, and as this is an environment that I have grown up in, it is something that I wanted to research so that the environment can continue to grow to be a more positive place for those who participate in this style of dance. To start out, we are going to watch two different videos of the two different styles that I have been researching so you can have a little bit of context knowing what I'm talking about going into this presentation. And let's just hope this plays. Or not. Okay. Here is a contemporary group piece, if I can get it to play.
It's pulling the phone.
I know. It won't let me play this.
Yeah, pause it for a sec. Find the video.
I don't know why.
Hit the space bar, it might just automatically play.
Like
Oh no,
switches to
huh.
it.
Weird.
This was happening last
Is
night.
this in your slide, what we're looking at?
Yeah.
Look it
Go,
up.
click on watch on YouTube and maybe it'll just pull up a separate window just to, it won't let you just.
Or just
it won't let you
open
hit
with
play.
YouTube on another tab.
It won't let you hit play. Oh,
Like,
weird.
I don't
Oh,
know
it's
why
like
it's
linked
doing
weird.
It's like linked weird.
If you can click on watch on YouTube, it might pull up a separate window. Does it let you click down there?
Let me just.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm just gonna watch a little clip of this. Sorry guys, I'm trying to fix this on the
You're
slide.
good.
Tell me what are three differences that you saw between these styles and videos.
The contemporary one, they're on the ground a lot more.
They also have like different, I don't know whether they're like specifically outfits or costumes, I forget what you call them, but they had very different styles in that form.
Motion was bigger in contemporary and smaller in ballet.
And it felt like a little more free flow and less exacting, you know?
Yeah, so all of these differences can be related back to the structure of these styles and the history of where they come from. Here. Ballet has been around since the 1500s and started during the Italian Renaissance. Ballet has traveled around the world, but the three main styles that can be seen today are Cicchetti, Balanchine, and Vagonova. These different styles of ballet techniques are very similar, but have different focuses on things like balance, transition, athletics, range of motion, and sharpness of motion. It's hard to show in like specific pictures of dance because it's more in the teaching style, but for example, in some techniques, when prepping for like a turn, your arms will be rounded, and in other ones, they'll be like more straight and exact to define the lines of those styles. Contemporary, on the other hand, is a much newer form of dance. Ballet has been around for over 500 years, and then from ballet came modern, which was a breakaway from the strict techniques of ballet, and then from modern came contemporary, which is even a further split away from ballet and the techniques and lines. Because contemporary is so new, it is hard to even find a solid definition within the dance world of what it is. and evidence speaking to like specific examples. Here I have some examples of each style just so you can kind of get a baseline of the differences. In ballet, you can see that there are very specific positions and every class is focused around like first, second, and third position. They're very focused on uniformity and like rounded arms and like finding a picture perfect shape moment. Modern still has a very specific structure and is very like technique oriented, but it's breaking away and is focused more on like lines and finding angles with your body. As you can see, contemporary breaks away from all of this completely and is much more varied. There is much less consistency and structure within the style, and you can see that the movement varies greatly. Moving into the physical effects of ballet. In my research, I have found that ballet places much more consistent strain on the body than contemporary dance. Reasons for this include repetitive technique and extreme positions, including turnout and point. And the injury rates of ballet are incredibly high. Over 80% of ballet dancers experience injuries, and these injuries are mostly due to the repetitive movement found in ballet classes. Injuries within dancers will then lead to anxiety, depression, and exhaustion. If a dancer has a strain, say in their ankle, they will continue to do the same movement that caused that strain, and that will lead the injury to become more great over time. These are pictures of your feet in a point shoe on an x-ray, which I think are interesting to look at because I don't know, your foot would never be like that. And then these are all the different points of the foot that are most affected when dancing. For example, the Achilles tendon is a very high injury rate for dancers because it gets really tight and then sometimes will snap and it's Here we have two charts comparing injuries in female dancers and male dancers. As you can see, with female dancers, injuries are most common in the ankle because of point shoes and the strain that puts on your feet. And with male dancers, it's mostly in the lower back because they spend so much time lifting ballet dancers and doing high jumps. Contemporary dance, on the other hand, has much less repetition within the movement and much more varied movement. In ballet, it's based around what looks correct, while in contemporary it's based more about what feels good inside of your body, which leads to more healthy movement like contractions and using your spine in healthy ways. The structure in ballet definitely creates strength and technique within dancers, while contemporary kind of lacks that, but it also puts extra strain on your body. Moving on to the physiological effects of ballet and contemporary dance. Ballet's emphasis on perfection increases physiological pressure, while contemporary dance allows for more emotional freedom. Many ballet dancers suffer from things like eating disorders, body image, perfectionism, and anxiety. There aren't super clear and consistent statistics on how many dancers struggle with these issues, but some studies report over 70% of professional dancers have struggled with body image issues and eating disorders throughout their professional careers. These statistics are looking at professional dancers and not like dancers who dance when they're like in 6th grade. Contemporary dance, on the other hand, focuses on expression and individuality, which lets dancers have much more freedom, which leads to less stress on their minds about their style of dance. Ballet does not have a Ballet has a consistency that contemporary lacks, and in some cases the lack of consistency also places stress on dancers. I think it depends on the person and what you value and what you're looking for, but having the consistency between teachers and classes in ballet, I think, creates security for some dancers, while having the freedom in contemporary helps express individuality. Now comes the question of why do they differ? And the reason for all of these differences is their structure. Ballet is very consistent and has a history that has created a set of rules while following very certain techniques. Whether you go to a ballet class in here or in Europe, no matter who your teacher is, it will follow the same technique throughout the whole class and you can know what to expect. Contemporary does not have the history that ballet does and is very teacher/studio dependent. The style is still evolving and is therefore very fluid, both within the movement and the way that the classes will be taught. This matters to me because I've been in dance for a very long time, and usually dancers start at a very young age where development is very important. and those, like who you are surrounded with has an incredible impact on who you are and how you will end up seeing the world. What you spend your time doing shapes you and can change the way you view yourself and the world, which is why it is important to me to change the environments moving forward. I think that the dance world is definitely moving in the right direction with teachers and is learning how to teach and protect bodies like in better ways, but I think there's a lot of change that still needs to happen. I think moving forward, ballet and dance needs to make changes to protect the dancers. I think teachers need to be educated more in healthy ways to teach their dancers, and dancers need to be educated on ways to protect both their bodies and their minds. Thank you.
Sorry. Such a sucker for little girls in ballet tutus. It's like.